Alex Sarr is the potential #1 pick, so let's break down his game, best player comparisons, and talk to Sarr himself.
Defense is something I take pride on, and I want to be the best defensive player I can be.
First, you gotta know Sarr stands at nearly 7 feet with a 7'4" wingspan, so he's an impactful rim protector who does a good job of defending without fouling. Sarr also has the agility of a wing, which he shows here with his hustle, staying stride for stride with the opponent before taking the ball away. It's not the only time we've seen Sarr do this. After missing a 3 against the Ignite, he displayed resilience by picking up a potential lotto pick, Ron Holland, staying glued to him and then blocking his shot. Sarr kind of looks like a hawk zeroing in on its target, doesn't he? No pun intended, of course, Atlanta. That same week, Sarr started this possession defending the opponent's center. He nearly intercepts a pass, chases down the ball, and then deflects another pass that's headed to Holland, all before completely locking him up. Ooh, can't go right. Can't go right again. Ooh! This is me watching that play. I had to break it up out of respect for Holland's pride, because Sarr makes plays that just go beyond the box score, man. He doesn't even get a steal or a block here. His instincts and reactivity are just that special. But can he defend schemes? Here's what he says about pick and roll defense.
Today I'm comfortable, whether I'm in drops, whether I got a hedge, whether we're switching 1 through 5. I like to switch a lot out on the perimeter because he allows me to play more in space.
Sarr is best equipped for a switch-heavy scheme since he does a good job at keeping opponents in front of him and using his length to bother shots. Here's another play in which he keeps the guy in front of the rim, but he hits a tough fadeaway. The defense is going to take that, though. You can't stop everything. Sarr does make avoidable mistakes, though, especially when showing or blitzing. He gets caught in no man's land, unsure of where to rotate, and that leads open a guy who draws a foul. Same thing happens here defending an off-ball action. He unnecessarily shows on the shooter, and then he's too slow to recover to the roller for the dunk. Drop coverage isn't yet a strength for him either. He backpedals, but he doesn't exactly deter the driver from penetrating or the roller from dunking. Sometimes it just feels like Sarr isn't offering any resistance, like he does nothing here. And even when he's in help, opponents don't exactly hesitate to drive at him. But other times, he's great. Like here, he corrals the driver and alters the shot. And on this play, he positions his body to stop a pass to the roller and then blocks the shot from behind. This is a positive sign of progress that he saw with the Perth Wildcats.
I think I improved a lot in my drops. Before I was committing too early to the ball, or still earlier in the season in the NBA, I was making those mistakes of not playing too really well, not really stunting at the ball and recovering. And I think that's something I improved on.
Sarr still needs to get stronger, especially in his lower body. Here you see ex-NBA center Aaron Baines completely bodying him underneath the basket to score. And again here, Sarr offers no resistance on the spin baseline, so he'd ideally be paired with a beefier center who can handle post players or just bulk up himself. Entering the NBA though, Sarr's closest comparison is Nick Claxton. They have similar bodies, they have similar games, similar strengths and weaknesses. Claxton is one of the NBA's most versatile defenders, and that's what Sarr needs to strive to be. But here's who Sarr says he spends most of his time watching.
Anthony Davis, Giannis, I used to watch Jaren Jackson, Evan Mobley.
All 4 of them are pretty good comparisons because they're all long-armed, versatile defensive presences who can thrive in different types of schemes. Offensively, though, Sarr has some pretty notable differences. We know what Sarr can do offensively. He's an athletic finisher who's always looking for opportunities to cut to the rim, including using baseline cuts behind defenders. Keep an eye on Sarr here. During this broken play, the rebound comes up, so he's bouncing around looking for the ball, and he keeps relocating before he sees an opening at the basket, so he cuts to the rim, and that's an open dunk. Sarr's at his best scoring off of the creation of others, including when he's screening and rolling to the basket out of ball screens. Away from the basket, he can face up and attack. Right here, he receives the ball near the elbow for a dribble handoff, but then he moves hard to the left to get into the paint for a floater. Dribble handoffs could be a fixture for Sarr in the NBA, especially if he's drafted first by the Hawks and if they keep Trae Young. Trae flourishes in the two-man game, so Sarr could be interchangeable with Jalen Johnson in some of these types of actions, screening and rolling with Trae, creating easy chances for his vertical threat. Sarr made only 48% of his layups and floaters in the half court. That's a pretty underwhelming number for a player of his size, but he also took a lot of tough shots, in part because he didn't have a playmaking guard to set him up. So whether Sarr plays with Trey or not, I hope he gets paired with a point guard who thrives in the pick and roll, since Sarr has made significant progress as a short roll passer. I'll let him explain.
I feel like I used to be more one-dimensional when I used to catch the ball in the short roll. So really watching film and seeing like who was open when I did that play, and really like going through it in practice, just in that situation, just like working on it. Like if the coach comes, you hit here, I think that made me like a better short roll player.
This pass will show what he means. Sarr sets the screen, begins his roll, and he makes a wraparound baseline pass on the money. I mean, look at this bullseye. Sarr's capable of these types of wow deliveries, or the simple formulaic passes that he described, like if a help defender comes over, he knows he has an open shooter on the strong side. Or if the big man is slow to recover after blitzing, he knows he can apply pressure with his dribble, draw attention, and that opens up a chance for a cutter. In the half court, Sarr actually had more freedom to go wild with his passes playing in the overtime elite than he did at Perth. They put him all over the floor, they enabled him to make highlight reel feeds across the court to shooters, and if he received post touches, he was really good at locating cutters. Sarr's new role with Perth dramatically cut down on his turnovers, though he still needs to do that by forcing the ball a little bit less. Like right here, he doesn't see the defender, and sometimes he goes through the motions, as he does here with a lazy pass to reset the offense. But his desire to pass is an overall positive quality. Even after offensive rebounds, he's so good at identifying the open man and delivering the ball instead of forcing contested hook shots like some bigs do. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Zach Collins. I can't stand it. Just get rid of the ball. With Sarr, that's not an issue. Nor is it an issue in transition, because he can turn defense and rebounds into offense with his playmaking using full court kick-aheads, or he can motor the ball up himself and create for his teammates. The open floor is ultimately where Sarr could thrive the most, and he's working to steal a skill from Giannis.
Say the way Giannis pushes the ball in transition, you know, like that's a specific move that like I think is really impressive. We work on that a lot, you know, as far as using your body, bumping, being able to relocate and finish at the rim. It is impressive, you know, just going that fast to being able to like control your body and still finish strong.
Sarr isn't quite the Greek freak athletically, but it's encouraging to see his transition ability as a model for Sarr's own development. Sarr is at his most aggressive using transition attacks. Even if some of his attempts end up as layups and runners and hooks instead of posters like it does for Giannis all the time, it's still an additive trait for Sarr when a big man can turn his stops on defense into points on offense. Now in the half court this matters too, because developing a downhill attack for Sarr is even more relevant in the half court, because much like Giannis, Sarr is an unproven shooter. Sarr made only 28.6% of his catch and shoot threes with Perth and only made 2 of his 8 threes off the dribble. He wasn't exactly ignored behind the arc, but he wasn't respected either. So unless those numbers improve, it could become an issue in the NBA with defenders sagging off him or completely disregarding him, and he knows it, so he's working on it.
Because that's something I want to be able to do from day one, because I think he can make me a threat, you know, from everywhere on the court, and I think I can be there just next year.
Well, how would it change your game if let's say tomorrow you wake up and you're a 40% guy from 3, or even a 37% guy from 3? How does, you know, Alex Sarr's game change?
I mean, I don't think it would change much. I think people would just close out harder, which will open up more space to me to make the right read or attack closeouts. But
sounds like a big change to me.
It is a big change, yeah. But I mean, I just envision it in my mind, so I don't really see it as like that big of a change. But it will definitely make the game easier.
That's all true. But will Sarr become reliable? That's the big question for him. Sarr's numbers have made subtle progress each season, both from 3 and from the line, going from 14% and 56% respectively his first year with Overtime Elite to nearly 28% and 71% in the NBL. but he's still not proven. There is an encouraging trait, though. He does have touch from mid-range. Over the past 2 years, he's made 50% of his floaters, 56% of his pull-up twos. So, those are really good numbers. And if figuring out how to extend his shooting touch from mid-range to 3 is only a matter of time and years of development, well, he's on a pretty good trajectory if you're looking at that. And if he does become a reliable three-point shooter, then he could become a complete player in the clear-cut best player from the 2024 draft class.